Xiang Zhen glared coldly. So you're not blind after all? If you're not blind, why did you get another woman pregnant behind your girlfriend's back? Afraid of saying too much and making things worse, Xiang Xian stopped him. Enough. Xiang Zhen glared coldly. So you're not blind after all? If you're not blind, why did you get another woman pregnant behind your girlfriend's back? Afraid of saying too much and making things worse, Xiang Xian stopped him. Enough. Xiang Zhong's face also darkened. Where's Zhong Yi? Xiang Zhen retorted. You have the nerve to look for her? What right do you have? You're someone else's husband now, someone else's child's father. Where would that leave Zhong Yi? Do you want her to die? Xiang Zhong reached out to grab Xiang Zhen's collar. Xiang Xian reacted instantly, pushing him hard, pointing a finger at him, and sharply declared, I tried to be considerate, but don't you dare push it. You have the audacity to come looking for Zhong Yi? I'd like to ask you where Zhong Yi is. Do you know her brother and I have been looking for her like mad? If she hadn't notified us early on that she was fine, we would have called the police long ago. Xiang Zhen tersely said, get out. Xiang Xian threw the gifts by the door at Xiang Zhong's feet and pushed Xiang Zhen into the house. With such a commotion, neighbors upstairs, downstairs, and to the left and right were all peeking through their peepholes to watch the show. Xiang Xian was about to explain what happened to Ji Hong and Uncle Li, but Xiang Zhen was in a bad mood, not wanting to hear a single word, and retreated to his room. He sent Zhong Yi a WeChat message. What are you doing? Zhong Yi replied almost instantly. Watching TV. Xiang Zhen. I will definitely treat you well. If not, may I be struck by lightning. Zhong Yi. What are you doing? Xiang Zhen. Messaging you. Zhong Yi. Where are Auntie and the others? Xiang Zhen. Outside. Zhong Yi called him. Xiang Zhen answered immediately. She was very smart, or rather, very perceptive. What happened? Xiang Zhen pretended. Nothing. Zhong Yi. You didn't see him, did you? Xiang Zhen. No. Zhong Yi's voice dropped. He caused trouble for you? Afraid she would worry, Xiang Zhen had to explain that Xiang Zhong hadn't even made it through the door and had been thoroughly scolded by Xiang Xian. Zhong Yi. My sister Xian, the queen of Liangcheng. Xiang Zhen remained silent. Zhong Yi praised him. It's also great that you held back and didn't lay a hand on him. I'm giving you a thumbs up, even if you can't see it. Xiang Zhen was downcast. Everyone upstairs and downstairs probably heard. Zhong Yi. He cheated, I didn't. At most, people will say I'm blind and can't judge people well. It's not like there's anything wrong with my character. Xiang Zhen. People love to gossip and see others fall. The news that Zhong Yi had found a rich man elsewhere was known to half of Liangcheng. People always cornered Zhong Min and asked, when is your daughter getting married? Zhong Min used to get anxious answering those questions in previous years, but later Zhong Yi often sent her on trips so she wouldn't hear them and wouldn't be bothered. But now, after 10 years of a relationship with Xiang Zhong that amounted to nothing, anyone could imagine how many people were gossiping about Zhong Yi behind her back. Zhong Yi, however, said, then you need to make an effort and prove them wrong. Making one mistake in judgment is a lapse, making two is being blind. I can accept people saying behind my back that I'm after money, but I cannot accept them saying I'm promiscuous. With that single sentence, she both praised Xiang Zhen and skillfully shifted the topic. Xiang Zhen, being less experienced in the ways of the world, immediately followed Zhong Yi's lead. I will absolutely never do anything to make you sad. Zhong Yi. Turn that frown upside down, be happy. Don't let me make it impossible for your whole family to celebrate the new year. Xiang Zhen replied, when I get back, you'll still be home, right? Zhong Yi was speechless. Xiang Zhen only felt relieved after calling her on video and seeing she was home. Xiang Zhen had originally planned to stay for 2 or 3 days and then return to Dongcheng, but Zhong Yi wouldn't allow it. She firmly ordered him to stay in Liangcheng for a week, citing that her boyfriend had to be obedient. During this time, Xiang Xian called Zhong Yi frequently, teasing her. There wasn't a hint of displeasure about Zhong Yi eating younger grass. Her every word implied satisfaction with Xiang Zhen's impending marriage into a wealthy family. It was an unknown hour. Zhong Yi was still asleep when someone kissed her. She woke up with a start from her deep sleep. In the darkness, there truly was a dark figure in front of her. She recoiled in fright. A familiar male voice said, it's me. Zhong Yi frowned. Why are you back? Xiang Zhen leaned in and kissed her. I missed you so much. He missed her terribly. There were no high-speed trains in the middle of the night, so he paid a high price for a taxi to return to Dongcheng. Zhong Yi had something to say, but Xiang Zhen silenced her with a kiss. He had originally been kneeling by the bed on one knee, but then Zhong Yi wrapped her arms around his neck and pulled him onto the bed. They were entangled in a kiss, and at one point Xiang Zhen pinned Zhong Yi down, then flipped over and rolled off the bed. Zhong Yi was groggy. What's wrong? Xiang Zhen, can't. Zhong Yi, can't what? Xiang Zhen was too embarrassed to say that his self-control was failing, and if this continued, he definitely wouldn't be able to hold back. It's late, you go to sleep first, we'll talk tomorrow. Xiang Zhen fled Zhong Yi's room. Zhong Yi found it amusing. Sure enough, when she went out, someone was in the bathroom. Xiang Zhen stayed in the bathroom for half an hour. When he came out, he saw Zhong Yi sitting on the sofa watching TV. You didn't sleep? Zhong Yi, are you sleepy? If not, let's chat for a bit. Xiang Zhen wished he could watch Zhong Yi 24 hours a day. He walked to the sofa and sat down. Zhong Yi offered him fruit, and even though he had brushed his teeth, he still took it and put it in his mouth. Zhong Yi, you ran back in the middle of the night, didn't you tell your family? Xiang Zhen, I messaged my sister when I left. Zhong Yi, you're a grown man still acting on impulse. Xiang Zhen, I've wanted to come back for a long time. I report to the police academy on the 16th, so I won't have many days to spend with you. Zhong Yi, I'm not a child. Xiang Zhen, okay, I'm a child, alright? I need you to keep me company. Zhong Yi eyed Xiang Zhen, teasing. Oh, you're even acting cute now. Xiang Zhen was unsmiling. Don't you miss me? Zhong Yi didn't beat around the bush. You'll be in Dongcheng for a long time from now on. How many days can Auntie see you all year? Would it be right for me to compete with her for your time? Xiang Zhen, will you always be in Dongcheng? Zhong Yi, before you pulled this stunt, I was planning to settle in Dongcheng. But now? Xiang Zhen tensed up. Zhong Yi, it depends. If things go well, there's naturally no need for a long-distance relationship. If it falls apart, then who knows? Xiang Zhen said with a serious expression. It won't fall apart. Zhong Yi, I believe in your sincerity and determination right now, but human hearts are unpredictable. You can't even foresee what will happen 3 days from now, let alone a lifetime so long. Xiang Zhen, I'm not him, not everyone doesn't know how to cherish. Zhong Yi's heart, encased in a tough exterior, still skipped a beat. 3 seconds later, she curved her lips into a smile. All right, then you go for it. Let me see your sincerity. Xiang Zhen's sincerity was to lean forward, tilt his head and kiss her lips. He kissed her until she was disoriented with passion, then picked her up horizontally and carried her into the room. Just as Zhong Yi naturally assumed they would continue, he lifted himself up, pulled the covers over her and said, sleep. Good night. Zhong Yi had her emotions played with twice in one night, and almost couldn't resist pulling Xiang Zhen back. But then she remembered what she had said a few days earlier and sighed. Serves me right. When nothing was happening, Zhong Yi thought Xiang Xian's love for her was genuine, but once Xiang Zhen was involved, Zhong Yi could instantly tell who was truly important and who wasn't. For Xiang Zhen's sake, Xiang Xian stubbornly refused to return to Dongcheng, choosing instead to spend the Lantern Festival in Liangcheng. On the evening of the Lantern Festival, Xiang Zhen had Zhong Yi stand on the kitchen balcony while he went downstairs alone. Not long after, with a whoosh, bright fireworks exploded in the sky. Zhong Yi saw the diameter of the exploding fireworks. Her first reaction was how beautiful they were. Her second reaction was, how much must this have cost Xiang Zhen? Xiang Zhen's fireworks were the largest in the vicinity. Many people came to their windows to watch, and the children downstairs, who were lighting sparklers and ground bloom flowers, also stopped and looked up. The fireworks lit up the open space. Zhong Yi watched Xiang Zhen downstairs, and Xiang Zhen was watching her too. He was smiling, raising both arms above his head to make a heart shape for her. Zhong Yi suddenly turned around. It had been many years since she'd felt such a stirring and impulse to run towards someone with the fastest speed. Casually grabbing one of Xiang Zhen's jackets, she ran downstairs in her slippers. The moment the building's entrance door pushed open, Xiang Zhen was already waiting for her. She darted up, and he wrapped his arms around her legs. This was Zhong Yi's first time leaving the house, going downstairs and breathing the outside air in 2 months. In the severe cold of deep winter, the air carried the scent of sulfur from firecrackers. Zhong Yi was wearing thin pajama pants, her calves and ankles exposed, but she didn't feel cold because Xiang Zhen held her close. He was like a fiery haven, making her happy and secure. Zhong Yi wrapped her arms around Xiang Zhen's neck. Xiang Zhen wanted to carry her upstairs. Then, a gloomy male voice was heard. Let her go. Zhong Yi and Xiang Zhen turned their heads simultaneously, just as a cluster of fireworks exploded in the sky. A few meters away, Xiang Zhen's face was clearly visible. Xiang Zhen was cold and menacing, especially when he saw Zhong Yi and Xiang Zhen simultaneously drop their smiles. The 3-6 eyes met, and those few seconds stretched out like a slow, torturous execution. The one being tortured was Xiang Zhen alone. He couldn't take it anymore. I told you to let her go. Zhong Yi's body stirred slightly, wanting to get down and handle it, but Xiang Zhen held her even tighter, averted his gaze, and carried her towards the door as if no one else was there. Xiang Zhen strode forward. Zhong Yi, fearing the man in front of her would suffer, hastily warned him. Xiang Zhen! Xiang Zhen's fist was already raised, but Xiang Zhen simultaneously dodged and kicked out. The kick landed squarely in Xiang Zhen's stomach, sending him staggering back several steps. Zhong Yi kicked her legs. Put me down! Xiang Zhen set her down, opened the building door and said calmly, You go up first! Zhong Yi tugged his arm. You go up, I'll talk to him. Xiang Zhen. Don't bother with him. As they spoke, an enraged Xiang Zhen made a comeback. Xiang Zhen quickly pushed Zhong Yi aside. Xiang Zhen usually paid great attention to his physique, regularly exercising and boxing. His taekwondo rank was also not low, making Zhong Yi worry about Xiang Zhen. But she forgot what Xiang Zhen did. Combat was a compulsory course for him. Xiang Zhen was the top student in this field, widely recognized by both teachers and students as the strongest in practical combat. Xiang Zhen threw a punch, which Xiang Zhen easily dodged. At the same time he countered, acting swiftly and fiercely, bending an arm and tripping a leg. The next second, Xiang Zhen was pinned face down on the ground. The classic method of apprehending a criminal. Xiang Zhen struggled. Xiang Zhen knelt on him with one knee, gripping his arm and lifting it slightly, causing Xiang Zhen to grunt in pain. Zhong Yi stepped forward. Xiang Zhen. Both Xiang Zhen and Xiang Zhen looked at her simultaneously. The latter noticed her gaze was not on his face. Zhong Yi gave Xiang Zhen a meaningful look, and Xiang Zhen released his grip and stood up. Xiang Zhen gritted his teeth, stood up, shook his aching arm, then looked at Xiang Zhen. Before he could speak, Zhong Yi stepped in front of Xiang Zhen, shielding him. Her eyes held no anger, no surprise, not even a trace of emotion. No words were needed, only protection. Sang, a firework burst open above the three of them. Xiang Zhen's eyes were bright. He looked at Zhong Yi. I won't cause him trouble. You come back to Min City with me. Xiang Zhen was about to step forward, but Zhong Yi gripped his wrist. Xiang Zhen suddenly erupted. Let go of him! Zhong Yi's fingers moved downwards, and Xiang Zhen, with unspoken understanding, intertwined his fingers with hers. Xiang Zhen's brow furrowed. It felt like a knife plunged into his chest, the pain rendering him speechless. Zhong Yi. Dong City is so cold it's not suitable for you. Hurry back to Min City. Her voice held no sorrow, no resentment, no ripples. Xiang Zhen vaguely detected a gentleness in it. Xiang Zhen. I was wrong, please don't leave. Zhong Yi. Your wife is over 4 months pregnant now, isn't she? It's a time when she needs company. You should hurry back and be with your wife and child. The cold wind scraped his bones and ice shards gouged his heart. Xiang Zhen's Adam's apple bobbed as he swallowed hard. After a long moment. I'll divorce her. I don't want anything else, I only want you. Xiang Zhen once again tried to rush forward, and once again was held back tightly by Zhong Yi. Xiang Zhen couldn't bear their tightly clasped hands. He frowned. If you want to get back at me, don't use this method. Let go. You know using him as a shield isn't good for him. Zhong Yi. You also know I would use anyone to get back at you, except him. Xiang Zhen tried his utmost to endure, or rather, to deceive himself. The person Zhong Yi held was Xiang Xian's biological younger brother. She would never use a family member as a shield. But Zhong Yi, perhaps fearing Xiang Zhen wouldn't understand, stated plainly. I like him. He is my boyfriend now, and in the future, depending on his performance, if he does well, then he will also be my husband. You're lying. Xiang Zhen refused to believe it. Zhong Yi loved him, they had been together for 10 years. He knew she loved him, so how could she have fallen for someone else in just 2 months? He said, You're just getting back at me. You blame me for making another mistake, you blame me for promising to marry you and then going back on my word. I know. Zhong Yi cut him off. You don't know. You don't even know why I went to such lengths to avoid you. Do you think I'm sad, angry, disappointed, or aggrieved? Yes, those feelings were there, but that was 4 years ago. Xiang Zhen was speechless. Zhong Yi continued. I thought life was long, that people make mistakes, and you genuinely apologized, so what was there that we couldn't get past? Later, I realized I was wrong because we couldn't get past it. I never truly forgave you. You could feel it too, couldn't you? We've long since been unable to go back to how things were. Instead of languishing in this half-hearted state, it's better to part ways with dignity. Xiang Zhen's eyes were red. No, we're not parting. I don't care who you've been using as a distraction during this time. Forgive me one more time, and we'll get married. Zhong Yi suddenly asked. Why are you marrying Zheng Jian? Is it because she's pregnant? Xiang Zhen frowned, not responding immediately. Zhong Yi pressed on. It shouldn't be as simple as pressure from both families to marry, should it? Xiang Zhen's gaze wavered. Give me some time, I'll sort it out. Zhong Yi asked. That some time is 5 months from now, when she gives birth to the child? Xiang Zhen was silent. Zhong Yi continued. Though I don't know the exact details, I guess this child must be tied to your assets. If she were simply pregnant and forcing you to marry her, even if she made a scene in front of me, you wouldn't marry her. As she spoke, Zhong Yi smiled. I understand you. When you said you liked me, it was true. You genuinely didn't want me to know you were cheating. Perhaps you really did think about marrying me. But compared to a significant amount of property, you still made your choice. Why couldn't you be a little more honest? Love is love, and not so much love is not so much love. You didn't love me as much as you imagined, and I didn't love you as much as I imagined either. As the last burst of fireworks exploded in the sky, Zhong Yi saw tears in Xiang Zhen's eyes. She calmly said, Go back? Winter City is so cold, don't come here again. Zhong Yi took Xiang Zhen's hand, and they walked into the apartment building together. Xiang Zhen stood at the entrance for a long time, frozen numb. A thought suddenly surfaced in his mind. Had he lost her 4 years ago? Everything he witnessed today wasn't revenge, it was retribution. He looked up at the 5th-floor balcony. New Year's good luck characters and decorative lights adorned the window. Just 10 minutes ago, Zhong Yi had been standing there. The scene of her running down and jumping into his arms reminded Xiang Zhen of many years ago, when she was a sophomore in college. Every time he went to her school to surprise her, she would dash from a distance and then leap into his arms. Tears welled up, and the cold wind blew, cutting like a knife. Even such certain love could, in the end, go its separate ways. When Zhang Jian learned that Xiang Zhen had gone to Winter City, she had a huge fight with him, threatening, If you dare to have the slightest connection with her again, I'll make her disappear completely. Uncharacteristically, Xiang Zhen didn't explode. Instead, he remained silent, staring at her without blinking. He stared until Zhang Jian felt unnerved. One moment she had been raging, the next she instinctively clutched her belly. Her belly was her shield. After a long silence, Xiang Zhen said expressionlessly, Don't harass her. I promise you'll have anything you want, and you'll be Mrs. Xiang for life. In May, on Xiang Zhen's 23rd birthday, Xiang Xian drove Zhong Yi's Maserati to pick him up at the police station entrance. A colleague quipped, Wow, it's different when you're handsome, huh? Xiang Zhen replied, That's my sister. The colleague said meaningfully, I can tell, sisters are the best. Xiang Zhen insisted, My Xinghao own Xinghao sister. The colleague quickly corrected himself, surprised that Xiang Zhen was actually an upright man, unswayed by beauty. What they didn't see was that as soon as Xiang Zhen got into the passenger seat, 2 arms suddenly wrapped around him from the back. Zhong Yi said, Happy birthday. Xiang Zhen was full of surprise. Didn't you have something on at the company? Zhong Yi curved her lips. What are you talking about? Is business more important than you? Xiang Zhen couldn't wait a second longer and immediately climbed from the front to the back seat, making Xiang Xian sweat his behind. Oh, you can't even wait that long. Xiang Zhen and Zhong Yi were constantly affectionate, to the point that Xiang Xian had to call ahead before going home. Later, Zhong Yi simply bought the house next door to Xiang Xian's, and Xiang Zhen now lived with Zhong Yi. The 3 of them ate together, played together, walked back to the complex together, went upstairs together, and then Xiang Xian went back to her own home, all alone. In June, Zhang Jian had a huge fight with Xiang Zhen after discovering he was keeping a female architecture student outside. In the middle of the night, she was suddenly rushed to the emergency room, barely surviving to give birth to a son. He was premature, weighing less than 4 pounds, and had to be intubated and kept in an incubator from birth. In August, less than 2 months after recovering, Zhang Jian and Xiang Zhen held their wedding. The wedding was so lavish that it topped the trending searches more than a dozen times. Everyone thought they were getting married because of the baby, but only the parties involved knew it was an exchange of interests. Xiang Hongrong's health had been deteriorating over the past year, and he had transferred 60% of the company's shares to his eldest grandson. Zhang Jian didn't want to be discarded after serving her purpose, so she demanded a grand wedding and that if Xiang Zhen wanted a divorce, the child must be awarded to the mother. Xiang Zhen signed the contract swiftly, only saying one sentence to Zhang Jian. You're overthinking it, I won't divorce you. At first, Zhang Jian thought Xiang Zhen was planning some trick, but gradually she understood why he said that. Xiang Zhen indeed had no intention of divorcing her. He wanted her to bear the title of Mrs. Xiang while simultaneously wearing countless cuckold's horns. Xiang Hongrong's health was poor, leaving him no time to manage Xiang Zhen. Zhang Jian reported it to Li Yunli. Li Yunli told Xiang Zhen, Go ahead and play, but letting those messy people bother your wife, aren't you going too far? Xiang Zhen was unfazed. Didn't she do the same thing before? Li Yunli didn't react at first, but then she frowned. You're still blaming Zhang Jian for driving away Zhong Yi. Xiang Zhen said, I don't blame anyone. Li Yunli tried to persuade him, but Xiang Zhen smiled. This is the choice of all of us today. How can it not be that everyone gets what they desire? In truth, what he thought was that everyone's choice was also everyone's just deserts. Those who seek wealth get wealth, but only wealth. Those who seek status get status, but only status. In a blink, another year passed. Xiang Zhen insisted on staying in bed with Zhong Yi to ring in the new year. He had good stamina. From before 10 at night, Zhong Yi was in passionate throes when she suddenly saw fireworks exploding outside. Later, when she finally had a moment to pick up her phone, it was 12:08. Xiang Zhen leaned into her ear. Happy New Year? Zhong Yi was too tired to even open her eyes. Do I look happy to you? Xiang Zhen kissed her neck. You're happy inside. Zhong Yi chuckled, cradling Xiang Zhen's handsome face, finding him more precious the more she looked. The two families went to Binhai for the new year. Zhong Yi murmured in Xiang Zhen's arms, I'm hungry. Xiang Zhen replied, I'll go out with you for a late-night snack. Zhong Yi said, call them both, see if they're asleep. Xiang Zhen called Xiang Xian, but Zhong Hui answered, saying Xiang Xian was taking a shower. Xiang Zhen said, meet downstairs in a bit. As the four ate their late-night snack, Zhong Hui, without warning, pulled something from his pocket and slapped it on the table. Zhong Yi peered closely, seeing two red books with the three large characters Jiehunzheng, marriage certificate, below the national emblem. Xiang Zhen was also surprised. When did you two get your certificates? Zhong Hui said, during the day, we happened to see the Civil Affairs Bureau when we were out shopping. Xiang Zhen looked at Xiang Xian. We said we'd all get them together. Why did you ditch me? Tisk. Xiang Xian looked helpless. I wanted to wait for you, but you kept dragging your feet. Zhong Hui interjected. You're still young, no rush. I'm 34, I can't wait until I'm 40 to get married, can I? At his words, the three at the table all turned to look at Zhong Yi. Zhong Yi straightened her neck. Why are you looking at me? Xiang Zhen sounded like he couldn't decide between being wronged or annoyed. We were together first, and they still beat us to it. Zhong Hui put an arm around his shoulder. Brother, show some courage. You can't listen to her about everything. If you listen to her, you won't get married before you're 30. Zhong Yi said, don't egg him on. How old is he? He has plenty of time to appreciate the world, see more sights, don't just settle down anywhere. Zhong Yi had always held this attitude. If you like someone, be together, it's simple. But getting married and then divorcing is troublesome, so be cautious. Xiang Zhen took it to heart. He needed courage. Zhong Yi was excellent, and he also worked desperately hard, rising from police officer to police superintendent in 3 years, always rushing to the front in any danger, winning multiple individual awards and provincial commendations. On Xiang Zhen's 27th birthday, which was also his 5th year proposing to Zhong Yi pretended to think, I'm 32 now. Xiang Zhen knelt on one knee, holding the ring, extremely nervous. Zhong Yi couldn't bear to tease him any longer, extended her hand, I do. That same winter, the two held their wedding. Zhong Yi was getting her makeup done in the lounge when her phone rang. She saw an unsaved number, but recognized the last digits instantly. She didn't answer, letting the call hang up, then picked up her phone and blocked the number. The lounge door was pushed open. The groom, dressed in a suit, incredibly handsome, who should have been busy greeting guests, walked in carrying a large bowl of spicy hot pot. Xiang Zhen placed the hot pot in front of Zhong Yi. Eat something quickly, you must be starving, right? He reached out to shield her wedding dress at the chest, watching Zhong Yi eat. Zhong Yi picked up a beef ball and fed it to him. At this moment, no declarations or vows were needed. Even a blind person could smell the scent of happiness.